Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, covering part 2 of the story I covered earlier, all about the young guy who thought he had a great gal, listened to the words of wisdom of his father, uncles, and all that. Things were going great. And the video ended where, guess what? He found her phone, a secret phone, and is about to reveal all the things he found behind the scenes. And it certainly came at the right time as he was thinking about potentially marrying her. So without any further ado, I'm going to jump into what he finds. And of course, how this thing wraps up him handling it like a boss, and her not doing too well. So it says here, about 6 months back, Dana had come home from work ranting about her new coworker and telling me what a bee she was. She couldn't stand her. Because every SSM story needs one, I will call her coworker Jessica. Hey, of course. Jessica was the topic of many inquiries of how was your day today. Dana said no matter what she did, Jessica was always on her case, talking behind her back and making snide comments to her. I told her to turn her in. No, she didn't want to be that person. I told her on more than a couple occasions it wasn't worth it and if she needed to, find another job and quit. Dana always told me she'd worked through it and that she'd just changed the subject. I picked her up one night when her car was in the shop and she pointed out that B Jessica to me. By my guess, she was in her early to mid-30s and was not entirely unattractive, but I could tell she was older. Dana was way better looking to me, but I might have been biased in my opinion at the time. She looked harmless to me, but I had a couple of coworkers at my first jobs who were a-holes for no other reason they could be. Jessica had been a sore subject for months. 2 nights ago, Dana came home late working overtime. I was still tracking her phone, and it was at work until 11:15 when it started to move. She found me 20 minutes later on the couch watching TV. She sat on my lap, was turned to kissing, and then the TV being shut off to go do some bedroom stuff. On this phone, I found a lot of pictures and several videos. Remember, he's giving some background on Jessica here, and now we're back to where he left off in the other video where he's in her phone. I opened in her phone the most recent video, which was from 2 nights ago. I don't know who was doing the filming, but Jessica and Dana were in it together. Oh, they're hanging out. I thought she hated Jessica. The only clothing each of them had on was a thong. Okay. I watched the whole video in horror, like a bystander at a massive car pileup who couldn't even look away each time another car sped into the pile, to become part of the twisted mental and broken glass. What proceeded for the next 30 minutes was Dana and Jessica taking turns servicing sausages at a glory hole. What the fuck, dude? One would appear in the hole, then one would use their mouth, and the other would assist with a hand or a tongue. Yeah, guys, you heard that right. Miss Sweet and Innocent. Uh-huh. Sure, this is why when she talked about the whole clone thing, knew something was going on here. We're not done. When the guy would finish, Dana and Jessica would make out and clean each other up. There were body shots and facial shots taken by both of them, and then Dana and Jessica would do things with it for the camera. Where the hell is this going on? One guy finished in Dana's mouth, and when she swallowed and opened her mouth and stuck out her tongue to the camera to show it was all gone. A male voice off camera told her, "Good girl," and Jessica proceeded to French kiss her. Well, it's always those quiet ones, huh? I lost count at 11 and 12 sausages. It may have been more like 14 or 15. I don't know. Does it really matter? When the video was over, I was nauseous and felt like throwing up. Yeah, I would too. How many times did she come home? Or did she come home that day and make out with you? Dana had come home from her overtime and did not shower or brush her teeth, but instead made out with me, had SEX with me, and then fell asleep in my arms without a care in the world. Oh, your dad and your uncle's going to have a field day with this one. And this is why you don't get married. This is why you trust but verify. And remember, guys, in the first video, this guy had a great counsel, the Jedi counsel of wisdom here, of what to do and what not to do, and he was listening and doing pretty good. Still, she's pulling the shit behind the scenes. I bet you that she really started this stuff the second that they moved in together, when she finally got what she wanted. That's what I think. I drove home. I was so pissed off, I was shaking. In the apartment, I looked at the dates of the text messages that she sent me telling me that she was working overtime, with the dates of the videos and pictures on the phone. There were some videos and pictures with no OT text, but I may have missed some or them, or she may have phoned me to tell me. The The first were just pictures. They started out more on the mild side, her modeling lingerie, and a couple of pictures in her in a wet t-shirt. Next, it was Dana topless sitting on a guy's lap, him copying a feel or kissing some guy or woman. There were a couple of short videos of her giving BJs, and a couple with Dana and Jessica and other women enjoying some fish tacos. Good God. Remember I told you about her addiction to social media and not having to get off social media because she loved pictures of herself and her cosplay outfits and everything? There you go. She's going to get the attention someplace else. Then I opened it. By my guess, the video was something either a week before or after the morning of the clone conversation. Ding, ding, ding. It was Dana on all fours, some guy plowing her from behind, and another guy with his sausage in her mouth. That's why when she brought that up, that red flags, and I'm glad you noticed that. I'm sorry, dude. Seriously, I know this happened years ago, but Jesus. I saved a couple of the videos to my computer for proof. For the next several hours, I gathered up everything that belonged to Dana and crammed it in my car. She has so many freaking clothing and outfits. No bags, no suitcases, just everything loose. Her clothes, makeup, toiletries, and any food she had recently purchased, even garbage she'd thrown away, were in the trash cans. It all went in my car. The trunk was full, as was the back seat, and the front passenger seat was piled high enough that I couldn't see the rearview mirror on that side. That's a lot of fucking clothes she has. And remember, guys, she's not on the lease or any of the utilities, and there's a reason for that, because now I can kick her out. It was a challenge to close the back doors, that stuff falling out. I took her car back to the parking lot and swapped it with mine. I left it there with a note on the steering wheel telling her I never wanted to see or speak to her again and not to contact me. I left her phone plugged in and propped up behind the steering wheel under the note with the video from the 2 days ago playing on repeat. Oh, good God. Little pixie here with her short blonde hair and her giant tits is going to freak out. I went home feeling exhausted and called my dad. Oh, God. I can only imagine what Master Yoda is going to say here. It went straight to voicemail. I paced for over an hour, feeling anxious and shaking. Dad is good at returning my calls, and he phoned me back later that evening. I told him what happened. He listened without interrupting me, and then told me how sorry he was to hear it, and assured me that I did the right thing. I'm glad your dad had a lot of empathy here, you know? He asked how I was doing, and I told him I feel like I got hit by a truck. He told me, remember, that which does not kill you will only make you stronger. Oh, no. That which does not kill you only make you wish it had. Yeah, I was going with the Nietzsche thing. I laughed for the first time that day. He asked me if I drank anything, and I told him no, but I felt like it. His advice to me was not to, and added that he was leaving in the morning to see me. I told him it wasn't necessary, and he told me it was, and he'd see me late tomorrow night. Well, I don't know where you live, but I'm sure that's a haul from Montana. Your dad's a good guy. Dad brought one of his brothers with him who welcomed me to what he called the Cheaters Club, or the Cheaters On Club. He said it was an exclusive club that only the highest quality men are granted membership to. I asked if there was a way to undo my complimentary membership, and he said, sorry buddy, it's not uncomplimentary, it's mandatory. My boss gave me the rest of the week off and told me to phone him Sunday if I needed more time. I told him that I found Dana had cheated on me, and he told me he understood and gave me brief details of stumbling on evidence his wife had cheated on him with a neighbor. So your boss is not part of the cheating club too. Similar situation that is no way similar. One neighbor versus half the town. Hell, I didn't know how many there had been. Dad's cousin joined us Friday afternoon, and Saturday morning we went fishing and didn't come home until Sunday. Dana still had a key to my apartment and one to my car. Ah, damn, dude, you should have had the locks changed. I sent her a text to meet me at the park and after work and to bring them. The day I found the videos, I sent messages to friends and some family saying that I caught Dan cheating and I was breaking up with her. When you said you sent messages, did you send them the video clips of all this? My friends came over after the fishing trip. Aaron and Josh asked if they could see the videos that I discovered. What the fuck? No, I don't want to show you the videos of my girlfriend of 5 years, so I almost married, doing all that, you fucking pervs. Not a joke, they were being serious. I was stunned silent. Danny wasn't and went off on them. He called them a pair of fucktards and told them to get the hell out of my apartment and never talk to either of us again. What kind of friend asked such a thing? I quit talking to Mike when he and Mary moved in together. They broke up 6 weeks later and he tried to resume the friendship. I wasn't interested. He sent me a text saying he heard about the breakup and was sorry to hear what happened. He asked if I would mind that he asked Dana out. Are you fucking kidding me? Man, these guys are scum. At least one of the friends here of your group of 4 friends is a good guy. I blocked him without a response. I'm glad to have those 3 losers out of my life. He says, SSM, you talk about being the average of the 5 people you spend your most time with. In 5 years of dating Dana, those 3 still work the same menial jobs. Danny's the only one who improved his life. He's a journeyman electrician. He loves it and is starting to make good money. We're letting those 3 keep us back. Yeah, exactly. There are times in life, guys, you need to do a house cleaning, a spring cleaning of people in your life that are adding no value and holding you back. My dad told me to have her mail me the keys that she had. I was hurt and pissed off and wanted to confront her. He advised against it, but said if you're going to do it, he understood. I need to play it smart. Have a witness to what took place. Danny went with me and videoed the interaction. Yeah, I'm sure she loved that. You wouldn't be able to hear what was being said, so I'd record the audio on my phone. When Dana showed up, she was wearing a long, tight turtleneck sweater that went down just below her hips, tight leggings, and a pair of boots. She knew what she was doing when she selected the outfit. The sweater was my favorite thing that she would wear when we went out. It hugged her curves beautifully. There were also a few times where she greeted me wearing only the sweater, and it proceeded from there. So she's wearing outfits to make her look good because she knows that would work on you before. Hoping that, really like that would change your mind after everything you saw on her phone. This day, however, I only felt disgust for her because when I looked at her, all I saw was a face covered in ranch dressing. She tried to sit next to me, but I told her to sit on the adjacent bench. I got my keys and we talked. Why don't you just have the locks changed? You know? I'm not dumb enough to believe I got the full story, but the following is a summary of what she told me. Okay, guys, here's her explanation for what he found on her phone. I'm sure you can't wait to hear this shit. Dana said that when Jessica started her job, she was assigned to Dana for training. They ate lunch together, hung out on breaks, and they became instant friends. One afternoon, a couple weeks after meeting her, Jessica told her she wanted to talk to her privately. So they went back into the storage room to talk. Really? This is what she told you? The storage room to talk? Is this a freaking porno movie? Jessica told her thank you for helping her learn her job, and she really liked her and enjoyed working and hanging out with her. There was something she wanted to give her, but Dana had to close her eyes. Oh, for God's sakes. This is bullshit. She's full of crap. Dana was expecting some small gift, so she closed her eyes and held her hand. What she got was an unexpected kiss from Jessica. She said she was taken aback at first, and Jessica told her relax, and she kissed her again. Dana liked the attention and the excitement because it was a woman, and it was new and different. They made out in Dana's car before coming home that night. It progressed to sex between them. Next, Jessica informed Dana she had a man in her life. Dave, but he was cool with her being with other people. Yeah, sure. She wanted to introduce Dana to her and Dave's friends. Turns out Dave and Jessica were swingers. I guess there's a swingers bar in town. The regular couples take turns hosting parties at their homes. Single guys are not allowed, but they do allow single women if they come as a guest with another couple. Of course they allow the single women there. And now we know where all this was taking place, these different bars and whatever, swingers bars. Dana went first out of curiosity. Then they had a lingerie show at the bar one night, and after coaxing from Jessica, she participated in it. Attention, attention, attention. She got a lot of attention from both the guys and the women. From there it progressed, or should I say degraded, to nudity, kissing, and sex, and finally the whoredom of the first video that I found. She'd ride from work to the party or event with Jessica, and Jessica would drop her off at work, where Dana would go into the women's locker room, change, clean up, and if necessary, shower before she came home. How about some mouthwash before she came home? How about brushing her teeth? That would have been nice. And flossing too while we're at it. She swore that up until Jessica, she'd always been faithful to me. It doesn't matter, asshole. She was sorry and loved me so much. Yeah, I can tell through your actions. She begged my forgiveness and wanted to fix this. I told her she chose to be this way over a life with me, and now she had to live with her choice. Yeah, good luck with that one, dude. Women and accountability. She cried, but there was no bawling. Just a steady stream of tears. I said to her she needed to tell people we broke up because she cheated on me. Good luck with that one, dude. You need to control the narrative. I said if it ever got back to me that she said that it was for any other reason, I would go scorched earth on her. Well, you got all the evidence. I added she wished her 5 years of my life and she could fuck off and die for all I cared. We parted ways, And as I was walking away, I couldn't help myself. Dana was walking to her car in a different direction, and I called out to her. She turned around, and I shouted to her, now listen to this for all you Clerks fans, try to suck in a you-know-what on your way through the parking lot. She said nothing, dropped her head, and turned around and headed for the car. Well, I think that was a warranted thing to say. Dante would be proud. I had a conference call with my dad and uncles. They explained it all went back to women's craving for attention, validation, and the tingles. It was unanimous that my cheat-on experience was the worst of them all. I think so, dude. Yeah, my dad and uncles are all single today because they've been cheated on. Dad always liked Dana. He told me it appeared I'd found a good one. Until you didn't. While he was not shocked she cheated, he was by how she took it to the extreme. In his opinion, I did everything with Dana correctly. Well, you really did, dude. But still this shit happened. There's nothing I could have done differently to prevent this. He told me a woman is only as loyal as she wants to be, and when they see opportunity to get something they want, they will sneak around, hide things, and play the deception card to get that and keep what they have already. Exactly. Hell, the Bible's full of stories of shit like that, and I know many of you guys know what I'm talking about. Dana moved back home. When word got to Dana's grandma that we broken up, she reached out to me. Oh, great, Granny's coming into the picture, huh? I met this woman multiple times at Dana's family events, and she was very conservative, no-nonsense kind of woman. She had taken a liking to me and looked forward to the day we would give her great-grandchildren. She asked me to meet up with me and came to town to do so. I really didn't want to, and I know I owed the woman nothing, but she was always really kind and good to me. I'd be polite in return. She wanted to take me to lunch, but I felt like it would have been weird. So I met her at the local coffee place. She wanted to know if there was any way her granddaughter and I would get back together. Get the fuck out of here. Clearly Grandma didn't get the full story. Shocker. She told me we made such a lovely couple. I said due to what happened between Dana and I, there was zero chance. She told me I should reconsider since Dana had chosen to forgive me. Say that again, Granny? Dana chose to forgive me? How is Dana forgiving me? I didn't do anything wrong. Now I was confused. I sent text messages to friends and even her parents, who also got along great with. I let them know that Dana had cheated on me and I was breaking up with her. The story Grandma got from Dana was that I cheated on her, and out of the goodness of her heart, Dana forgave me, but I chose to break up after being caught. She's lying to Grandma. Her, what's the word? The one who's leaving her all the money? Not a good idea. Her benefactor? I let out a sarcastic laugh. She was not amused, and I was pissed off. I told her it was the other way around. Grandma didn't believe me and wanted to know who the guy was that she cheated with. I told her I need a minute and excused myself. I stepped outside and phoned my dad. I told him what was going on, and he knew I was meeting with her, and asked what I should do. He told me do not give the poor woman a heart attack. He said tell her all she needs to know, Dana cheated. If she pushes, give enough details without getting graphic. Well, guys, you think he's going to show her videos of Dana and Jessica sharing sausages and making out and all that? That could literally put Grandma in the grave. So I followed my dad's advice and did not suffice for Grandma. She continued to press for details. Okay, Granny. She finally said to me, young man, I lived 75 years, and believe me when I tell you, anything you say will not offend or surprise me. She told me to start talking. Well, bear in mind, Grandma was alive in the 60s and 70s. I thought lunch would have been awkward, but this turned into one of the most difficult, uncomfortable, and embarrassing conversations I've ever had the pleasure to participate in. As I eventually had to explain to Grandma what a glory hole was and what had occurred. Oh my God. To my surprise, she did not have a heart attack, nor did she turn white and sit there speechless. Instead, she matter-of-factly said, this is unacceptable behavior, and sat there pondering for a few seconds. After a moment, she asked, you have proof? And I told her that I did. I'd be like, Grandma, I like and respect you. I really don't want to show you this shit, but I will. But I assured her she did not want to see it. She agreed and said it wasn't necessary. She apologized to me for Dana's behavior and told me I did the right thing dumping her and wished me well. I walked her to her car and she thanked me for my time and left. She seemed unfazed by what I told her about Dana. Yeah, again, Grandma was around in the 60s and 70s. When I told my dad about the rest of the encounter, he laughed his ass off at the thought of me sitting around there explaining the workings of a glory hole to an old woman. He wound up conferencing my uncles, and they had a good laugh too. And Anne unexpectedly dropped by my place about 2 weeks later. Ah, Anne, the one who had a falling out with Dana. Gee, I wonder why. She told me Grandma put an end to Dana's trust fund, which made it tough on her. She'd been relying on the monthly stipend. Apparently Dana is absolutely pissed off at me that I talked to her grandma. Fuck her, she chose her path in life, she can live with it. Holy crap, Grandma cut her off. And that monthly amount was only get bigger with time. That's awesome. And she's mad at you? Look what she did. This was all 2 years ago. I cannot say enough how very blessed I am to have my dad and uncles watching over me and guiding me. My cousin, who I mentioned above, gets guidance from them too. We talk from time to time. His girl proposed an open relationship last year. She went full Tuscan Raider, as you say, when he dumped her on the spot. Dad and my uncles helped him navigate the situation as well. Oh my God. Today I have 2 women in my life. There is Daisy May. She's a 2-year-old dog. She hangs out with me and has her doggy bed next to mine. She's a chick magnet too. I've gotten a couple of hookups because of her. I guess she's my wing girl. That is the only girl you're ever going to be able to truly trust to be loyal to you, your girl dog. The other is Anne. About 3 months after Dana's breakup, Anne wanted to date me. Aha! Nice way to rub the salt in the wound of Dana dating her former friend. We have been hanging out from time to time for about 5 or 6 weeks. I told her I was not interested in a relationship. Given what you've been through, I don't blame you. Half joking, half serious, I did tell her the best I could offer her was hang out and be fuck buddies. But at this time, I didn't want anything serious. She was disappointed, but 2 days later, she came over to my house to hang out. When I let her in, she asked if anybody else was there. When I said no, she stripped down and jumped my bones. I now have a fuck buddy. Good for you, man. Again, back to being indifferent, not giving a shit. And I'm sure she enjoyed sticking it to Dana, because everybody else was sticking it to Dana. She hadn't asked for anything more. I suspect the day is coming, and I will deal with it when it comes. Well, remember everything you learned and everything from your dad, because Anne can be just as bad as Dana. You never know. I discovered something about myself as well. At the time, as much as I enjoyed Dana's giant boobs, I prefer Anne's nice, tight B-cup. My dad's cousin told me as nice as large boobs are, 20 years later, and popping out a couple kids, those giant ones will turn into 44 longs. After Dana, I can't see any reason to ever get married, and she managed to kill my desire to ever have kids. No, you don't need to get married. Well, I'll be a giant boob man to the day I fucking die. But, and I'll be honest with you, I like some of the bigger asses that go along with those big boobs. Hence, South Florida, there's big boob, big ass Latina girls everywhere, so I'm in heaven here. So I got snipped. My dad knows my mom would blow a gasket if she found out. She wants grandkids yesterday and keeps asking me about my dating life. Sorry, Mom, no grandkids. Listening to your channel the past year and a half has made me lose hope in women. I just cannot see any scenario where I fall in love again and then move to marriage and kids. It's too bad, but these gals do it to themselves. Yes, exactly. If you read my story and you want me to, I'll talk to my cousin about sharing his open relationship story with you. Thanks for the work you do, and a giant salute to the brothers and 4%ers of your community. Holy shit, man, that was a story. This is why I'm doing it on They Did What to make it for yesterday's story. But man, I'm sorry what happened to you, but you handled it really well. But it sounds to me that you loved Dana, but you never were in love with her because you took it so well. You weren't that surprised. I know you were hurt and disgusted, but you weren't broken heart like a lot of guys in these stories. I think you learned enough from your dad and uncles not to fall in love. You loved her, things that you loved about her, and there's a difference. But anyhow, bro, I'm glad you got cut off from the trust fund, which I'll probably find a way to milk it later on. But I'm glad your life is going well. I'm glad you had your dad and Jedi Council masters helping you out along the way. If you didn't have them, oh my God. But it goes to show you guys, even with great advice and him handling things well, she still was pulling this bullshit. So that says a lot to what you guys, a lot of you guys have walked away completely, and no one can blame you. But anyhow, bro, yes, if you would want to send in the story from your cousin, have him send it in to me, Let him send it in because he can put in his own words. And if, guys, you want to hear the story from the cousin, let this guy know in the comment section. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. If you like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.